Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're here today because we're diving into a massive financial revolution that is literally reshaping an entire continent. We're going to explore how Africa is redefining the very concept of banking right from the ground up. They're completely moving away from your typical brick and mortar banks and just embracing this purely digital leapfrog. It's a total masterclass in innovation born out of pure necessity. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that is, well, it's just staggering. 835 million. That is the number of registered mobile money accounts in sub-Saharan Africa by the end of 2023. Just pause and think about that scale for a second. We are talking about nearly half of the entire global total of mobile money accounts, all concentrated in this one extraordinarily dynamic region. Which leads us straight to the big question, the one that sparked this whole revolution. How exactly do you bank an entire continent without, actually building banks? For decades, the huge problem across Africa was physical and financial exclusion. Trying to build physical bank branches across these vast, often super rural landscapes was just unbelievably expensive and honestly logistically impossible. Millions of people were just left out of the formal economy. Well, that is, until the digital wallet stepped in. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the mobile money leapfrog, Africa's digital wallet ecosystem, moving beyond basic cash transfers, the realities, risks, and barriers on the ground, the era of Coopetition, and finally, the future financial landscape. Let's get into it. Part 1, the mobile money leapfrog. All right, so the most crucial thing to grasp here is what this new model actually is. Wallet-centric banking is a model that completely redefines financial inclusion by positioning the digital wallet rather than a traditional bank account as your primary access point for financial services. It completely bypasses the traditional bank. In this world, your mobile phone literally is your bank. You don't have to walk into a building, you don't have to fill out endless paper forms, and you don't even need a formal financial history to get started. It's all about bypassing that traditional infrastructure to empower millions. By putting this technology right onto a mobile phone, you're placing immense financial power directly into the palm of someone's hand. Whether it's paying a merchant digitally or just managing funds on a really simple interface, these platforms provide democratized access to essential tools for people that traditional banking models either ignored or just couldn't reach. So who exactly is running the show here? That brings us to part 2. Africa's digital wallet ecosystem. We're essentially watching a massive three-way race for control of the space. First, you've got the telco-led models, the mobile network operators. Their big strength? Vast reach. But their weakness is they face really strict regulatory limits on what they can actually do. Second, you have the fintech-led models. They bring amazing agility and great user experiences, but they often struggle with lower initial trust from consumers. And finally, the bank-led models. They have all the trust and the regulatory green lights, sure, but their weakness is they're weighed down by older legacy systems. So every single player has a pretty glaring blind spot. But as these players duke it out, the technology just keeps evolving. Section 3, beyond basic cash transfers. Think about it. Initially, mobile money was really just about texting some cash to a family member in the next town over. But look at what it's unlocked today. Every time someone makes a basic transfer, they're building a digital transaction history. That acts like a financial footprint, and providers are using that footprint to offer real wealth-building tools. Savings accounts, credit and microloans, insurance products, seamless merchant payments, and way cheaper international remittances. This is a massive shift. We're moving straight from basic person-to-person transfers into full-blown, comprehensive digital financial platforms. And end-user engagement is just deepening tremendously. People are relying on these wallets for smaller, everyday transactions. Buying groceries, paying the power bill, running their side hustle. The wallet is essentially becoming the financial operating system for daily life. But hey, we've got to be real about the challenges too, right? Section 4, realities, risks, and barriers. Because as amazing as digital technology is, it doesn't just instantly erase physical reality. Distance, infrastructure, and the rural reality are huge factors. Even with a digital wallet, you still need human agent networks to convert physical cash into digital currency. And in vast rural areas, simply traveling to the nearest agent, dealing with spotty cell service, or surviving an unreliable power grid, those remain massive everyday hurdles. Plus, there is a very stark device divide. You've got feature phones utilizing USSD, which only needs basic text capabilities, going up against smartphones and apps that require high data consumption and serious digital literacy. Roughly 55% of the African market is still using feature phones. If your banking product only works on a flashy, expensive smartphone, you're missing more than half the continent. You absolutely have to design simple, low-bandwidth text menus. And speaking of expensive, check out this data point, $43.75. That was recently the approximate cost of just 1 single gigabyte of mobile data in Zimbabwe. Now, while data might be cheap in places like Nigeria, in many other nations, the data affordability crisis is brutal. I mean, a beautiful high-tech banking app is completely useless if you have to spend a week's wages just to download it. And the barriers go beyond just the tech. You've got complex KYC, know your customer documentation rules, that demand formal IDs a lot of people just don't have. Then there's severe market fragmentation, low digital literacy, and very real cybersecurity fears. Offering a cheap digital wallet isn't some magic wand. People need the right IDs, the know-how, and the confidence to actually use the system. So, how does the industry get past these roadblocks? That brings us to Section 5, the era of Coopetition. I absolutely love this term, Coopetition. It's a dynamic where institutions are simultaneously competing fiercely for market share in some areas while strategically collaborating in others. The old, rigid lines that used to separate a traditional bank, a massive telecom company, and a scrappy fintech startup, yeah, those are rapidly blurring into one giant interconnected ecosystem. And the driving force behind this is total interdependence. Remember those blind spots we talked about? Banks are realizing they desperately need the agility and the digital reach of the fintechs. On the flip side, the fintechs and telcos are realizing, oh wait, we really need the bank's deep infrastructure, their consumer trust, and those absolutely vital regulatory licenses. They literally cannot survive without each other. So they are forging strategic ecosystem partnerships to unlock their full potential. They're being forced to the negotiating table to figure out interoperability, making sure money can flow seamlessly between a traditional bank, a telco wallet, and a new fintech app. Teamwork really is the only way they're going to scale this thing and actually serve the customer. All right, let's look at where all of this is heading. Section 6, the future financial landscape. The innovations on the horizon are just mind-blowing. We are talking about super apps, where you can chat with friends, buy your groceries, and manage your savings all in one place. We're seeing embedded finance seamlessly woven into the digital checkout process. And of course, AI is stepping in to do real-time credit scoring, using mobile data to safely offer loans to people who have literally never stepped foot inside a bank. And the macroeconomic benefits here are massive. This isn't just about making things easier for one person. This is about GDP growth. It's about economic formalization. It's bringing vast informal parts of the economy onto the grid. It's driving enhanced cross-border trade through initiatives like the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. And ultimately, it's an incredible engine for job creation. So I want to leave you with this really provocative question to think about. As these digital wallets become highly sophisticated, totally comprehensive financial hubs, will traditional bank accounts eventually become obsolete? Not just in Africa, but everywhere. It definitely makes you wonder, right? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next one.